I can't believe what her financial advisor told her to do. I'm stunned. All right, so I'm working with a lady today, legend. We'll call her Misty. All right, Misty Mountain Hop. She's a fan of Led Zeppelin. I don't know if she's a fan of Led Zeppelin, but we'll call her Misty. And we're kind of running. She's a divorcee. Divorcee, just a divorced woman. And she's a legend, crushing, got a kid, a couple grandkids. She just retired. She retired before talking to me. How dare you, Misty Mountain Hop? Don't do that. But she's good to go. She's going to be good to go. And so we're debating whether or not to take Social Security at 62, 67, sometimes 65 when you file for Medicare, sometimes 67, sometimes 70. And we're going over that. And and her financial advisor, you'll never guess what her financial advisor told her to do. Her financial advisor who manages her money for a fee. You'll never guess. She told her to wait until she's 70, or at least 67. Now, Misty is only 61 now. And I said, what? Because if she waits, that means she's going to be pulling down her portfolio to live on, which means her financial advisor will have less money to manage and then get less fees. I was stunned by that. I said, what? I could not believe it. Because that's the right answer, except in this case, I told Missy, I take it at 62 because you're single. Life expectancy on her dad's side is very low, very low. Life expectancy on her mom's side is pretty high, but still, I said, at the end of the day, you're probably not living beyond 85 or so, if even that. And as such, you might as well get what you can because you just don't know. And she doesn't really need Social Security per se, but she does want to leave money to her kid and grandkids. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, one of the things is if you're single, you could die tomorrow and no one gets any Social Security. That's just fact. So this I tell most single people, I say, you might as well take it now. That way, if you just get hit by a freaking milk truck, no one's getting anything because you haven't filed and there's no benefit to your kids and you're not married and you're not getting married anytime soon. So I say, might as well take it now, just lock that in. And then, every dollar that you have from Social Security is one less dollar you need from your portfolio. So that dollar in your portfolio can continue to grow. And I was just stunned. I said, I love what her financial advisor said. I just think in this case it's not right, but it's not wrong. It's just I think my own objective advice would be different than hers. And we can debate this and spreadsheet and all that stuff. And if she decides to wait till she's 67 to take it, that's fine. I just think at the end of the day, if you're single, in this case, she doesn't really need the money. Just take it, spend it. That way you leave more to your heirs upon your death. Obviously, if she lives until she's 85, and there's a decent chance she won't. I mean, her dad's side has all died well before, I think 75, you know what I'm saying? So there's a decent chance that she won't die, won't live beyond 80, essentially. So I said, yeah, I think the risk is too high. Anyway, but it doesn't matter. It's just to say, yeah, you don't really need the money. I mean, she could pull it from her portfolio. But if she pulls it from her portfolio and she waits until, say, she's 70, that's 8 years of pulling from her portfolio. And if she dies at 69, then her kids don't get that money and they don't get anything from Social Security. I said, nah, let's not do that. And then on top of that, she has money at T. Rowe Price in a 401k, and her advisor wasn't really, hitting on her hard about rolling it over to an IRA. I said, wow, that's pretty impressive to me. Now, I don't know who her advisor is. I tried looking her up, real quick. I didn't look up that hard for about 5 minutes. I couldn't find her, but it's like, so her advisor is now her friend, they're friends. And I was like, man, this is good stuff. I like to see this is the thing that drives me crazy about, the people in the financial advisors serve an important role. There are many who are doing good by their clients. I'd say the vast majority, I think. I can't prove that, but in my experiences, most advisors want to do well by their clients. That's just a fact. Now, do most advisors charge a fee as a fiduciary as opposed to commissions? Because it seems like Misty's financial advisor is probably commission-based. I'm telling you, man, I like commission-based better than fee-based because commission-based, you pay the fee and you're done. Fee-based, you're paying this fee that's ongoing on a bigger and bigger account, presumably. And I find that to be, I don't get how fiduciaries can say I'm a fiduciary while charging this massive inflated fee each and every year. I don't like that. Look, I'm not going to criticize. I mean, whatever. I don't know how the problem is the fiduciaries bash commission-based advisors as if commission-based advisors all churning and burning accounts. That's just fact. They're just not. I mean, are there some? Sure, absolutely. But then you could look back at the fiduciary advisor and say, well, you're reverse churning. You're not doing enough to justify your fee. And are some financial advisors doing that? Absolutely. Are they all doing that? No. The whole thing in my business where the fiduciaries act like they're all down in a bag of chips and the commission-based people are evil, it drives me up the wall. Because everyone's going to take care of number one first. But the financial advisors, commission or fiduciaries, in my opinion, have all, I mean, not all, but the vast majority have been there to try to serve their clients the best they can. But they still got to make a fee. I mean, you're going to pay your electrician, not going to pay him a fee. I mean, that's stupid. You're going to freaking hire I don't know. Anytime you're buying something, you're paying a fee. So if you're working with a fee-based financial advisor, you're paying a fee. If you're working with a commission-based financial advisor, you're paying a fee. But they can do it better themselves. Well, can they though? That's the issue. Can you do it better than yourselves? Some people can. Some people can't. I said, so I'm like telling this lady, I said, Misty, I think your lady's serving you well. She hasn't hit on you hard about your 401k. I said, I think you should roll it over to her. Let her manage it. Take that, there's one less account to deal with. You take it off your hands. This is your friend. I think she goes to church with her and stuff. So no, I mean, she's not serving you wrong. She's got you a moderate portfolio, about 50-50, 60-40. I said, if anything, I think you need to be more aggressive for a couple of reasons I won't get into here. But it's like, you don't need to be, because, well, she's got a military pension as well, plus her Social Security. Between her Social Security and military pension, she doesn't really need anything from her portfolio. I said, yeah, no reason not to be more aggressive, especially if leaving money to your heirs isn't important. And it kind of is. It kind of is. She wants to leave money to her heirs. So if you got another 30 years, 20 years, something like that, get that sucker growing a little bit more. She'll have a guaranteed income annuity too at some point to turn on. And I just said, yeah, there's no reason to be too conservative in your portfolio. So I said, let your financial, this lady, run your money for you. If you feel like you're being served well, keep doing it. If you don't feel like you're being served well, don't. But in my opinion, from an outside source, a non-biased part, I said, no, I think this lady is serving you right. Telling you to delay taking Social Security. I don't think you should, but I appreciate that she's doing that, because that means she'd have to spend down her portfolio. Telling her to take, not being overly aggressive and not hitting her on the head about her 401k. She has a T-row price. So good stuff, man. Plenty of good financial advisors out there, guys. Don't let these freaking fools say, oh, the financial advisor is just a bunch of sharks. They're just not. It's idiotic. I hear that all the time. It drives me crazy. My biggest complaint is the fiduciaries. I'm a fiduciary. I'm not a commission-based salesman, as if that gives them some kind of level of, I don't know. I've never liked that. I don't like commenting on how other people get paid. As long as you disclose it to your client, that's all that matters. Let your client disclose it in a way your client understands. Don't get it. Just come on. Say, hey, if you got $100,000 annuity and you're going to get paid a 4% commission, say, look, I just want you to know I get 4% commission. That's $4,000. All right, but I don't get paid anything else. Maybe I get 25 basis points a trail or something like that. But just be upfront with people, man. Let them figure it out. And if they say, well, that sounds like you're pushing this fee on me, say, well, the product on me for the commission, you should be able to justify why you're doing it. On the other hand, if you're a fiduciary, say, I don't get paid on commission, say, yeah, but my $100,000 now, you're paying 1%. That's $1,000 today. That means it's going to be $2,000 in 10 years and freaking $4,000 in 20 years. How do you justify that? Are you going to be doing a lot of stuff actively to maintain my portfolio? No, I'm just going to set and forget it pretty much. And why can't I do that in index funds? I mean, see, there's always a negative on any of these people, how they get paid, but people got to get paid, man. It's okay. I mean, so you got to be able to justify your fees. But the financial advisor business, where they bash each other, drives up the wall. All right. God bless. Love to hear your thoughts. We'll see you.